All right, guys. Well, I needed a video for this weekend. So I figured I might as well film what I'm doing on a 6.5 this weekend. Or this week. Sorry, it's not the weekend yet. You'll see this on the weekend. But White Suburban has this intercooler. Let me stick the camera down here. And there's the intercooler in the front. And the pipe right here, it comes up. I gotta stuck a rag in there just so that I don't have to worry about things getting in it. Okay, because this is gonna be sitting overnight. So I have a new upper intake piece made, drilled and tapped for map, boost, and intake air temp. It originally had this factory air intake, upper plenum is really like its name, I believe, that they shortened right here. Usually this is way longer. Do I have one? Yeah, hang on. Let me walk across my garage. Yeah, so they are like, that's how long they are. There's two of them sitting up there and an extra manifold. Actually, there's three of them four of them sitting up there. Moving on. So it went from that to, I know this sounds crazy, but this whole kit came with these nice T-bolt clamps. This is what a T-bolt clamp looks like. It came with all these nice T-bolt clamps on a lot of the other pieces, like way down there. Let me see if I get a light. Way down there, there's two down there that hook that pipe to, that goes over. And so let me turn this light off now. So it's weird. They had this hose clamp on one side of this thing. So it went from here and it went from here and it ran over, and it was just, they looks like so these are all steel pipes, number one, and they have no welded flanges on any of them, and they stay on fine. So take that for what it is. I would rather have, you know, a like bead of weld around those so that they stay on, but they've stayed on. But I believe this is the factory upper hose connection for the factory turbo. They just reuse it in the kit, I guess. I didn't put this kit on. Somebody else did. Guy I got it from. And so this was sitting kind of like that, right? And what I'm planning to do is connect a 90 that I've lengthened because I had to. I didn't want to. It's going to come out of here straight over, and then this, it won't rub here anymore, and it won't rub on here anymore. If you look, it was actually rubbing on here, and this AC line right here that has this repair in it, that AC line actually was completely rubbed through. It had like a hole about that long in it. AC leak number one it had about 3 or 4 of them. Yeah, 3 or 4 of them. So this is going to come up and it's going to go straight into there. It's going to straight into there. It's going to have much better flow than this factory one. These factory ones have like this tiny little mouth to them. So they say that it doesn't flow well. They say that they have issues with the way that they force boost into the manifold. So I've decided to upgrade to this stuff. This thing's intercooled. So already, so my intercool project is still going. It's ongoing. So this is the pipe that I made. It's in the middle of paint right now. I know, it's a really, really great paint job. I didn't have my big welder. I just have this small 110 welder at my house that I use for just miscellaneous little things, but it's not a perfect welder. It's really old. I've welded a lot of stuff with it, and it only has like, 4 settings. So I just turned the thing all the way up and weld. And so I did these crappy welds to try to just stick those two pipes together. I'll test it for boost leaks after I'm done, obviously. And I'll grind it down and re-weld it if I have to. But I got a trip to take Saturday. So this needs to get back together. Today's Wednesday. So that's why it's a bit of a rush. I would have normally just tack welded it, brought it to my other shop with my big welder and welded it or TIG welded it because that welder has both. But I just didn't have time. So had to get it done this way. But this thing just took a trip. One weekend, took a 500-mile trip, and on one tank of fuel, I know, one tank of fuel and 500 miles, it was like, yeah, just shy of 500 miles, and it's got like about a quarter of a tank of fuel left. So, you know, fill it up, and everything's falling. Fill it up and see what the next 500 miles brings it for mileage. See if this adds or subtracts to its overall good mileage. I wonder what it'll do to boost, because this is a non-wastegated turbo. This turbo I believe originated from a DT466 when I look up the numbers for what it belongs to. So take that for what it is. Probably, I don't know, it works okay on this thing, but it'll probably get upgraded at some point, obviously. The wife doesn't really like looking at small boost numbers. She thinks when she drives the other 6.5s, they have a lot more boost, so she doesn't really understand why hers doesn't have more. So it'll probably get a turbo upgrade just for that one reason, and the fact that this thing is pretty tired. It's got over 150,000 miles on the turbo, maybe even more. So yeah, anyways, maybe I'll try to stick a clip in of this thing finished up, but for now, this is what it is. See you later. Casualty. So this casualty is brought to you by something off Amazon. It didn't last long. That little thing is just sheet metal, and it ripped right through that. Actually, that thing kind of survived, so it's more the clamp. So I have this one right here, which that looks a little bit tougher. It was on the old one. I'm hoping that one lasts. Oh, let's see. Whoa, it looks like close up. It looks all right. Doesn't look like anything's happening to it yet. I hand tightened these. I gun tightened that one because I was trying to rush to get it back together. Because we're going on a big trip tomorrow. I think I got another spare one from the Duramax couplers from that intercooler. So I got some lying around, but I'm going to order some. I like having spares because if one breaks, you know, obviously you can use like 2 hose clamps and double them up. They're just as strong. But I like these. So, yeah, got 7 PSI of boost. I don't know if I got 7 PSI of boost in this truck without like full throttling it uphill. In the video, I just held the camera at the gauge because I was driving. So, it was pretty much just, you know, right away, about half throttle, it looked like it got 7 pounds of boost, this is a non-wastegated. As I've said before, it's like a turbo off of a DT466. It happens to be what the choice was back then. Peninsular diesel, not to be confused with Pensacola diesel. Peninsular diesel used to be a big deal years ago, and this intercooler kit came from them, from another company that makes them. They used to just resell their stuff on their site, and then the turbo came from them. the engine came from them, and the tune is a Heath tune that was super old. It works all right, so I'm just going to leave it because it works. He knew what the combo was going to be and thought he could write a tune for it. So the transmission shifts really well with it, which everyone says Heath's transmission tuning really was terrible. So maybe he left it stock. The transmission shift's also good because it's had a rebuild in its life, and I'm sure they did like a, you know, an updated kit to the transmission. So anywho, I'm gonna take a trip tomorrow in it and see how it does on the highway. Hoping it does good. This is holding up pretty well. I double checked that clamp. That clamp was pretty tight too. So it needs some new couplers and stuff. They're getting pretty raggedy. The whole intake system probably could be taken apart and rejuvenated. Check for leaks. So anyways, I'll either put this together and post it for my weekend video, or I'll get some video of driving on the highway and see what it's like. But I gotta double check the bolts on the hat next, and then going to sleep for tomorrow's trip. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys, so this is the follow-up to this video on the intercooler tube. This thing has been driving around a little bit. It got about 17 miles to the gallon mixed driving. About to do like a big, probably gonna be close to 400 miles, maybe 500 miles. Trip with it today. So I just checked the oil, checking all the fluids, and looking things over, see if I see anything before the trip, and then pretty much it's gonna go. So it's raining here, unfortunately, so I just wanted to check the oil quick outside. But yeah, it's gonna be going out for a trip. Yeah, it's been doing pretty well. None of these clamps have loosened up or anything or broken, so that's good. And it definitely feels way different. So I'll let you know. I'll do a follow-up video on mileage and that kind of thing with all this new intercooler piping. But I just wanted to give an update and be able to post this video. So thanks, guys, for following along on this one. And, you know, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends if you think that it's helpful or interesting to them. All right, see you later, guys.